spotlight business. That would be Mr. John Kilmartin. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here following last meeting's follow-up business, the hospital. It's a hard act to follow. The hotel was built in 1984, long before I got here. A group of folks that most of you that have been here a while would recognize their names. These are the ones that are still active in the board. That's Bob Black and his wife Carol, he's the president. Betty Sebastian, she's the vice president. Her husband Bill's. I mentioned the couples because they, even though only one is a partner, it's really they're all involved. George Sheets and his wife Lois, Tom Burgess and his wife Nancy, Jan Haravi and her husband Cyrus, Nancy Ashley and her husband Dr. Jack Ashley, Pat Miller and of course her recently passed husband James, and then Barbara Martin and her husband Jack. The way I hear the story, the original group got together. They had an investment club, and that's the name of the group, B&B Investment Club. And they used to make investments back in the 70s and 80s, not a building. And then Tom Burgess, as you recall, was our pharmacist at the time. He won the Pharmacist of the Year in the state of North Carolina. And one of the traditions is when you win Pharmacist of the Year, the next annual meeting is held in your town. And of course, we didn't have much of choices in Alleghany at the time. And as I understand it, they got together, decided to build that hotel, and opened on the first day of the conference for the pharmacy conference. Other partners that I did not know, I knew Liv Goodman, I didn't know her husband Jim, and Cecil Murray. I think there's a couple more that I'm not aware of. The hotel is 64 rooms with 116 beds. And I'm here to tell you we used every single one of them last weekend for that wrestling tournament. That's a rare sellout for us in the wintertime. We're like a lot of the rest of the folks here, we're seasonal. We'd like to see that change. We'd like to see some stuff like what NACO has going on, because that hotel was really built up to its current state when Bristol was here. And it stayed full back then, it doesn't now. We're working on that though. We stay pretty full on weekends from Memorial Day through the mid-October. We have 10 employees around this time of year, and we go up to about 15 or 16 part-time, full-time in season. We're always updating something. Recently we just added, we purchased 14 new larger flat screen TVs. We're trying to upgrade the flat screens that we have now to larger size. We're going to be meeting later this week with the group on Thursday, and we're discussing, the hotel is in good shape. It's pretty standard across the board as far as all the rooms go. If you go to some hotels, they'll have a section of the hotel that may be a little fancier, and I'm hoping that we're going to be taking a portion of the hotel to a higher level. Be a little higher rate, but it'll be a higher level, and with the increase in NAPCO, Pioneer Clips, and some of the other businesses going on in Alleghany, we're seeing an increase in travel, business travel, and you know, that they're accustomed to a little higher level, I think, Hampton Inn type level. So we're going to try and make some adjustments there. Like I said, it's good following the hospital. A lot of people don't realize that we're not just a tourist or business location. We had a couple come through a few years back. They were on their way to Peaks of Otter on the Parkway. He wasn't feeling well. And so they just pulled off Sparta, canceled the reservation there, and stayed at the hotel. And when they were checking in, I could tell he wasn't feeling well, and she was giving him a hard time to go to the hospital, and he didn't want to go, but I gave him directions to it. Sure enough, a couple hours later they went, and he was diagnosed, and he would have been dead the next day if he'd not gone to that hospital. We do a lot of folks that are coming, unfortunately, accidents on the Blue Ridge Parkway. One of my best bad stories is we had a Canadian group on motorcycles coming down the Parkway. They weren't scheduled to stop in Alleghany, they weren't going to stay with us. There was about 10 of them, and as they rounded a curve, the first motorcycle went left and the second motorcycle went right. Got my left and right back on here, and the third motorcycle didn't see it in time. There was a turkey vulture in the middle of the road feasting on something. It flew up, knocked him off his motorcycle, totaled his bike, cracked his collarbone, and I'll never forget when he got out of the hospital, he came to the hotel, went in the lobby to look at all of our brochures, and he found the the bird guide that we have. And he had a big smile on his face. And he said, I asked him what he was so happy about. He had somebody coming from Canada to pick him up. He said, well, I'm part of a biker club, and nobody's ever going to top this story. And he wanted to know all he could about a turkey vulture. Anyway, we do a tremendous amount of travel off the Blue Ridge Parkway. We have people from all over the world come in. You can go in our lobby. There's a map that's been there for 20 some odd years with pins of places where people are from that have visited the hotel. We serve the community as a whole. We do weddings, family reunions, unfortunately funerals, golfing groups. Just another little neat story. Believe it, most of you that have been here a long time probably know this. The restaurant, which we own, we leased to JB's, was there before the hotel. And you can remember what it was called? Phantom Chef. And it was a modular building, I'm told. It was brought in the 60s. And there was a car wash there, I guess, at one point behind it. And it's a neat little story how this group came together and built this hotel. It's really, that hotel is larger than you would find in a community this size. They built it when Bristol, they added on in Bristol, because I think it started out as 32 rooms and now it's 64. And we do have the conference room as well, so. I don't know if I can add anything else. You have any questions?
I know you partner a lot with the high school, with a lot of their programs. I think they let you know when they're gonna have a tournament or something, and don't you make some special arrangements with other schools?
We had 5 different schools in the hotel last week. I think it may have been actually the most people that have actually been in that hotel at any one given time, because there were 4 and 5 boys in every room that they were in. They were sleeping on the floor. Because we just didn't have enough beds. But yeah, we sponsor the volleyball club at the school. We have a sign that we sponsor at the football field and the basketball field. For a few years there, the volleyball was really bringing in a lot of business on the weekends in January, February, March. Within the state, as a parent, I understood this. As a business owner, I didn't care for it. But they split the state in half, is the way I understand it. And we used to get a lot of teams from the East Coast coming up here. They quit sending them that far west. So. But summer is our big time. If we could get some sort of a winter event up here, a tubing park, or with all this cold weather we're having this February, I don't know how reasonable that would be right now, but that would certainly help. But businesses like NAPCO expanding help us, and we can help them too, because we'll always have rooms during the week for them. One other small caveat, a lot of people won't think, as slow as this hotel is compared to other hotels in other regions, you typically want a 60% occupancy for a hotel of that size. That's your good point. We're well below that and have been for a long time. But still saying that hotel last year brought in almost 12,000 adult room nights. And when I say adult room nights, if you and your spouse are in a hotel for 2 days, that's 4 adult room nights. That's 2 of you there. And if you think about how many meals are associated with that, that's 24, 25,000 meals approximately if they eat just 2 meals here a day. So we help support the restaurant businesses as well.
Do you offer state rates for state employees?
We have a state government per diem right now, I believe it's $67.90. Yes, sir. One more quick story. You mentioned state, that reminded me of something. One of the things we don't think about is things that are going on in the county. We see it at the hotel, a lot of people don't know it. When I first got here in 2004, we had a crew from the Museum of Natural Science in Raleigh that came up here, and they had a bunch of coolers, and they were going down to the rivers to collect samples. And one of the primary samples is what's called a canal darter. It's a fish that's only located in Alleghany County. I think one other county might be Ashe, anywhere in the world. And they were there. They had reservations for a week, and they only stayed 2 days. And I asked him why he made reservations for a week. He said, well, back in the 90s, they would come up for a week and they would not get anywhere near their quota. But our streams had been restored so much in that 10-year period that they got their full quota in a day and a half. So we have neat groups come through the hotel. I just like hearing stories like that.
John, you were probably around when the kids from Topsail Beach came up to wrestle in the state tournament, and it snowed the night before.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it snowed in all over the place.
Yeah, that's right. Those boys were up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and they had to be up there at the high school at 7 o'clock the next morning. We did not encourage them to go to bed. And we won that tournament.
Yes, we did.
Days in the hole.
Not that we needed that. I think we won anyway. But thank you for letting me represent the group. They're the real folks behind the scenes that built this hotel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do in the community. I know you serve a lot of boards and things, and really appreciate what you're doing at the hotel and also on these other boards that you serve in.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for the Christmas decorations every year. That's a highlight in the town.
Thank you. There's some, we took the lead from Trojan Village when I first got here and loved how all the lights they had down there. And we're gonna add a little bit every year. We're gonna add some more next year. And I hope that we can get other businesses to jump on board and spruce up, because it really makes a difference. I have people that stay with me now that stay just because their kids like staying in the hotel with them. When they come get the Christmas tree, they used to go home. They put the tree on the car, go home, and I'm picking up a lot more folks staying. So there's an ulterior motive there as well. It's good for business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.